did not exist. Like, bro, you should have seen the freaking judge's face. She was just sitting there like, what did I just watch, bro? And everyone in the court was laughing. Like, so that kind of reality would not have been possible 5 years ago. But now, we're all coming from the perspective of people that are heavily involved in social media because it's like very tightly integrated with our work, right? And when you find yourself in that point, I think you have a different experience to the average person, because someone out there who's, I don't know, maybe an accountant or a lawyer or whatever it may be, I personally believe that they would benefit a lot by like being active on these platforms and investing time in it. But it's not essential to their success, right? And especially like more mature individuals and people that operate and work with people that aren't necessarily involved in social media, like you aren't as incentivized, right? So having said that, I acknowledge my bias, right? I'm heavily biased towards the fact that like I'm heavily involved in social media and my financial well-being comes from social media. But from my perspective and with the work that I do with businesses, I honestly believe that if you want to be successful, a huge part of your strategy needs to include a digital aspect. And if you're not including that in your strategy, you aren't taking advantage of a huge opportunity in front of you. So if that is true, then essentially we're incentivized monetarily and in terms of our well-being to be active on these platforms. And I want to bring up the topic of the metaverse, right? Because I believe that that's when you start economically incentivizing people to be a part of something, I believe that leads to a reality where we see ourselves operating in a metaverse space where our reality becomes less involved with like reality and more involved with this idea of a metaverse. And I also think it does apply in certain instances like lawyers and doctors and all of that kind of stuff, because you can look at like a platform like Zoom, for example. You can like, if you went back 5 years and you were a doctor and you were giving Zoom consultations, people probably would have like not taken you seriously. Now, post-COVID, a lot of people are doing their consultations via Zoom. A lot of doctors and lawyers. Bro, I was watching this Johnny Depp situation. We should also touch on that at some point. I don't know if y'all been watching this Johnny Depp situation and Amber Heard. But anyways, I've been watching this whole trial play out. And there was this, I don't know if you guys saw, there was this one guy who was giving a testimony in his car. Like, I think he was doing it yesterday. I don't know which guy it was. I don't know what testimony he was giving or what he was talking about. All I know is that my dude was chilling in his car on a Zoom call, chatting to the freaking judge and lawyer, smoking his vape and driving around in his car while he was giving a testimony. And I'm just like, this shit did not exist. Like, bro, you should have seen the freaking judge's face. She was just sitting there like, what did I just watch, bro? And everyone in the court was laughing. Like, so that kind of reality would not have been possible 5 years ago. But now, when you have platforms like Zoom, where you're able to give a testimony in your car while smoking a vape, I mean, what's more 2022 than that, bro? Like, but it's a reality and people are using it, and that's in a court of law. And for me, that's a step into the metaverse, because it's someone in a different geographical location able to give a testimony somewhere else. That's the first step into this metaverse. If you can have the person actually come into like that courtroom and you can see their gestures, you can see their facial expressions, you can hear the way that they sound, like you can get much more information from that person if you have those experiences and those interactions with them. Compared to over like the limitations of a Zoom call. And that technology is going to exist at some point. Like that's where we're moving towards. I mean, one of the clients that I work with in the UK works with motion tracking technology. Parts of that is facial tracking. So there's so much information that you can get from someone who's talking to you like this, right? Like if I'm talking to you like this, you can't see my face. You're gonna interpret me saying whatever I'm saying. You're gonna interpret it in a certain way. Whereas if I'm talking like this and you can hear what I'm saying, you can see my face, you're gonna interpret it in a different way. So it's like that. Those little nuances give people information, and when that technology becomes existent, I believe people are going to be incentivized to use that, because like if you're a lawyer and you want to consult people, you're only consulting people in person, the amount of people that you can consult is this big. Whereas if you're a lawyer and you're consulting people over Zoom, the amount of people you consult is this big. If you create an AI software that can take your framework of thinking, can input information into it and output certain like recommendations, or can create certain documents or whatever it may be in your law firm, you can provide, instead of you using your 24 hours in a day, you can provide so much more to people using that technology. So we're economically incentivized to use this technology. And I think because we're economically incentivized to use it, naturally over time, we're all going to become more and more integrated into it. But then it becomes that thing of like, how do you handle that? But I have to say, like, I don't know if like cutting it out and avoiding it is the right solution. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it is in moderation. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but I don't know if like just doing a detox is the solution, because the more you detox social media, the more you're not on it, the less economic benefit you're getting from being on it. And that's what messes with my mind, because I'm like, crap, like sometimes I don't want to post stuff. Sometimes I don't want to be on this thing. But now I'm like, yo, I'm really like at a disadvantage if that's the case. And in my mind, the reason why that's the case is because of the way the algorithms are structured. So I think the solution could be, it could lie within the algorithms and how we structure and how we incentivize the algorithms. But I don't know, man. It's such a big question. Like Elon Musk hopefully has the answer. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. It's for everyone, because I think, like I said, it's everyone having to identify. I think it comes down to the self identifying what as long as one is winning, and in terms of that relationship between you and technology as is right now, I think one is in the clear. It's literally just about the self. When do you need social media? Why do you need it? And being very strict on that. So like you said with the lawyer thing, if a lawyer needs social media to get more clients and that's more business, that's fine. But that should not be, okay, because I'm winning in terms of my career, maybe my love life should also be based on the same algorithms. Or maybe it's not everything. I don't think everything needs to be digitized. The metaverse is cute and everything is nice, but I feel I have a real, it's not that I don't have a problem with it. It's just I'm very observant of like how technology has influenced how we interact. And I mean it now that it's gotten to the intimate part of it, it's gotten even scarier, right? So it's like you can just pick a partner and it will take you a solid session of scrolling, maybe 30 minutes, but you might find your suitable partner. And I think you've shrink down the mating ritual from like this really lengthy process, which we used to send letters and horses to someone just to woo them. And now you've shrunken it down to like a swipe, a motion of the thumb. I think it's just like those kind of things. I'm like, technology is great that, someone who struggles, and like I said, it goes both ways. Someone who struggles to speak to someone of the opposite sex or whatever the situation may be might benefit from this, but it should not be that situation where just because it's available, it should therefore be exploited or used. You know what I mean? It's one of those nice to have, but not everything needs to be on social media. And so, for example, like I said, one has to just identify the self, identify your needs and wants, and then just be able to maintain those for as long as you possibly can. And I'm not saying be shy of exploring into different avenues, but like now, we're making the argument of it getting in the way, but this podcast wouldn't be possible had it not been for a platform like Riverside where we can interact virtually, So it would be nice to be in physical, but looking at things now, that's traveling costs, that's setup, there's a lot. You're just shrinking all of that down to this moment. And value-wise, maybe, you know, one could argue that you're getting the same outcome or output out of it. We've always discussed that, but it's one of those things that for this purpose, we understand that this is probably what's needed, but in certain instances, one would prefer a different method. I don't know. It's just kind of keeping your options out there. You know what I mean?
So I think like technology, like you said, like even the way we're using Riverside now, technology should always be like a tool we use to accomplish something greater. Like as opposed to now taking in the metaverse and accepting it for like your whole digital life. I think since the internet is still pretty young, we're still going through everything. We don't know the long-term effects of it yet, and we're already like going to jump into this deep pool of a whole digital life. You know, it's like Sims, but like 24/7. And it's just human beings get so excited with new ideas and technology and things. We never stop to ask if we should, you know? And I think that as time goes on and as people now integrate technology more and more into their lives, we're going to start seeing the adverse effects of it. And maybe we're seeing it now, just not on such a large scale. But, you know, definitely we need to start realizing that these are just tools and they should just be used as such and not things that consume majority of our time. If you get me.
This player one is not ready.
Nice.
So, bro, I wanted to check with you. Like, did you meet your significant other on Tinder?
Me?
Yeah, I don't know if that's too personal of a question. You
Oh,
know?
no, don't worry. No, I haven't. No, there wasn't on Tinder. It was personal. I don't have a Tinder profile. I was on
I would
a,
hope not.
yeah, even before, yeah, but I was oddly enough, on a vegan dating site. So, you know, I
That
tried
makes
that.
sense. The vegetarian chicken nuggets.